Hello, beautiful people. Sama Soltani here from Saif Real Estate.
Hi, I'm Shiba Gurel, interior designer from Obsidian Urban Design.
Pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So before we get back to your finer work that you do, could you please tell our audience who is exactly Shiba?
Well, we've been in this business for about 5 years now with Obsidian Urban Design. As far as interior design is concerned, we've been doing this for the past 10 years. And it's a business that is growing in Kenya, and we're very excited to expand that from now on. Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful. But how long yourself has been in this industry?
I've been in this for 10 years,
For 10 years.
but I'm always learning.
Okay.
And it wasn't my initial line of study. I'm actually a biologist.
Okay.
And I had to change that when I moved back to Kenya. But it's something that I was always passionate about as a hobby, and then it's become my work.
It's become your profession completely.
Yes, yeah.
You just mentioned you moved back to Kenya. Where were you before that?
I was living in the US.
Ah, okay. And then you moved back here
Yes,
10 years ago.
yes, 10 years ago.
Okay. And how has been Kenyan market treating you?
It's been interesting because it was very different from the US. I lived there for 20 years, so it was a big change for me. But the market here is ready for interior design,
For interior
and it's fresh, and everyone wants something new. So I feel like this is a really good market to be an interior design in. Yeah.
And you've been doing interior design in US as well, or just when you
As a
moved?
hobby,
As a
yes.
okay.
But when I moved here, it became more obvious that it's needed here, and so it became more important to me to follow that path.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really nice. And what project do you do as an interior design? Like hospitality, household?
Well, we are open to doing everything, but we have been doing a lot of show houses,
Okay.
a lot of apartments.
Show houses as a residence building?
Yes, apartment buildings. But we've also done houses, villas.
Nice.
We've done people's personal homes, quite a few of those. And we're doing a lot more commercial projects now as
Commercial
well.
projects,
Yes.
Okay. And which one has been more exciting for you, residential or commercial?
I think residential, because it's people's homes.
Yeah.
And they want to live in a space that's comfortable and safe and fun, and somewhere where they can come home and just be free themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Just be themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shiva, could you please tell us what drives your passion into interior designing on day-to-day basis?
I think one of my biggest passions is nature. I love to bring nature into my designs.
Okay.
And I love to see a lot of natural stuff inside a home, because I think that
Inside the home.
yeah,
Okay.
because I think that a lot of people love nature and they don't know it, and they never have time for it, and they never spend time outside. So I love to bring the outside in,
Okay.
and so it creates that sort of serene feeling inside. But that's me. That's what I love. Many clients might not agree with me, but it is what I strive for on a regular basis. The other passion is that I feel like Kenya has so much to offer. We as interior designers have so much to offer Kenyans,
Okay.
because we're not like the US or Europe, where things have been tried and tried and tried. There's so much to be done here that it's exciting the next time that we do something different, the next time we do something different, and we grow and we challenge ourselves every day. And every day we come to work, we find a new challenge, and I think the entire team loves that.
What is the philosophy behind that you want to put so many green areas in the house, nature? What is your philosophy like? Does it have any impact on the?
I do.
Yeah.
I do think that it does. I
Okay.
think that it makes for a calmer environment, a serene environment where you can come home and just relax and let go. And that's what people do in nature anyway. When you go for a walk, why does it bring peace? It's because you're surrounded by nature and you're surrounded by serene calmness, and I think that kind of feeling inside the house is quite nice.
And so, back to that, could you please explain what is exactly interior designer and how important it is in construction?
I'm glad you asked me that question.
Yes.
because it is an important question.
Okay.
An interior designer is not an interior decorator. Those two things should never be mixed up, even though a lot of interior designers here are actually just interior decorators.
Okay.
There's a big difference. An interior designer gets into the process at the very beginning because they do consider things like functionality, safety, practicality. All those things must come into the design so that when a building is constructed or a home is constructed, all those things are taken into account. Then comes the beauty. And we as interior designers take every single aspect of that and put it together.
Okay.
So when it comes to, the building, lighting, mood, colors, feeling, all of those things come into account. An interior decorator basically comes into a place that's already ready and then just makes the soft furnishings like the furniture and the paint and the flowers and all that, and then they make the place look pretty, but they don't take into consideration things like how many chairs should fit around a table for it to be practical in the space that's been given to them. That's what we do.
Okay. So let's focus on how it starts. Like once you walk into a project, do you picture it and then you put on drawing and then how do you transfer it to the customer?
Well,
obviously it's your idea.
Yeah.
Combined with the customer idea.
Yeah, it's actually, that's what I was going to say. The very first thing is I want to hear what the client wants. It's really important because they know what they want in their own homes. And so I try and listen to what they have to say. And then if there are things that I feel doesn't quite work, we iron all those things out. And once we have come to an agreement, then I go back and I do some drawings and some renders just to show what I'm seeing in my head.
Yeah.
Come out on computer or paper or something,
yeah.
so that the client can see it. And then from there, once they have agreed on all that, then we go through the rest of the process with the paperwork and the quotations, and then we start running around looking for all the items. And it's just, it's a flow from one end to the other.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And getting back to Saif, how did you meet Saif actually?
Saif actually reached out to me, which is
Okay.
quite nice. I think they'd seen some of my projects and decided to give me a call. And so we're actually doing the very first one now, the first real interior design project.
Okay.
And
Which project?
which is Roseville.
Which is Roseville. Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing how that turns out, because we're in the process right now, not finished, but we're working on it.
That's great. And how has been your journey with Saif?
It's been good. It has its ups and downs, and just like every other project. But I think that Saif has at least got the idea that they need an interior designer. I think that's really important because a lot of people don't realize how important it is for us to come in at the very beginning and offer our expertise and our knowledge of the market and our knowledge of what people are looking for and our knowledge of safety and functionality, because an interior designer doesn't just look at the aesthetics. We look at everything. How safe is something? How practical is it? How functional is it? Does it work for people who have children or elderly parents with them? Does it work for foreigners or investment? All those things come into account, and we take all those things into account according to the project and their needs.
Could you just mentioned children and elders, which actually you can say the most essential part of the family. Could you maybe share with us some stories that you did the interior designing for children and for elder people?
Well, we have done an interior where we had somebody elderly, and we had to request to make sure that things like the bathrooms have the right handles, the toilet is the right height, the floor is non-slippery, and we actually had to change an entire bathroom just to make sure that somebody who is elderly can use it safely and not get hurt. We do the same thing for children. You know, sometimes we have situations where we've had a situation where we had a balcony where the height of the balcony was so low that it was completely dangerous. And we had to go in there and increase the heights of the balcony railings so that we could safely have children in that apartment. And it was a penthouse, which means it's 11 stories up.
Yes.
So it could have been extremely dangerous for children to be in that apartment and run around, because they don't look, they don't see what they're doing. They just play.
Children,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had good experience with those things as well.
Yes, and our clients really appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is your most favorite projects in Saif?
Well, I'm only working on this first one, so
Okay.
I hope it turns out to be my most favorite, being the first one.
Wow, I hope so as well.
So we're looking forward to the end product, which I think will be around March.
Around March.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we look forward to it as well.
Yeah.
Could you please tell our audience?
Yeah.
What is the interior designing advice that you can give them to, first of all, use your expertise,
Yeah.
and for those that they have a little bit tight budget, they can save it later on to use your expertise?
Yeah. So interior design is not cheap, and we are actually we keep our prices at very entry level, just because we know that it is difficult for people to accumulate so much and save so much for interior design. But at the end of the day, I think it saves you a lot more to have an interior designer, because you feel and you enjoy your home so much more when it's done to your liking. It is also, I would advise that people start at the very beginning, before they start building anything, just so that we can give the advice ahead of time. It is nice for us to work with architects also, just so we can be aligned. And then when it comes to the budgets, we try our best to meet a budget. But then sometimes what happens is that it becomes just a little bit difficult when you have a tight budget and you have great ideas, you know?
Very true.
Yeah.
So if people want to change a little bit, like some changes in their house, buy themselves,
Yes.
what do you advise for them? Where they should focus more, where they should spend money most?
I would say they would have to spend most amount of money on something that's fixed, like your tiling or your sanitary ware and things like that, because those things are stuck and they have to be good quality for you to have them last a long time. When it comes to paint works and, you know, a carpet or a piece of furniture, it's a lot easier to change that than it is to change your whole kitchen or your whole bathroom or anything like that. Yeah.
And what is your favorite part of the house to work on as an interior designer?
That's also a hard question, but I don't know. I love nature, so I would say I love doing balconies and outdoor spaces.
Okay.
We've had some really nice ones in our time. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Have you
think that's
designed
great.
your own house as well, right?
It's partly.
Okay.
Yeah, we tend to think ourselves last
Oh wow. Okay.
quite often because you're so busy with everyone else's stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, slowly, our mine is coming together slowly.
Nice. And
Yeah.
what is your favorite part in your house
Um,
that you specifically designed it?
my dining,
Your dining table.
Yeah.
Okay. Your dining area or just dining table?
my dining area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
It's been-
assume you are the
it-
kind of person you love hosting parties.
I'm not actually,
not?
no,
Okay.
but I do like to have my friends over for a good game.
Yeah.
And so our dining table is the place where we sit and play, and it's nice, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really great. So, Shiva, could you please tell us how is the role of interior designing can help the client to maximize their budget?
I think at the end of the day, once they have agreed to paying the sum that an interior designer asks for, it saves them a lot of money in the long run, because then they don't have to do a lot of renovations, they don't have to make a lot of changes, and they're usually quite happy with the end result, which then, of course, has maximized their budget at that point.
And then they can stay with it for at least
As
the
long-
quiet years as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel like about safe real estate?
I think the developments that I've seen that are being done at the moment, one of the things that I've noticed that they're in very good locations. So I think that there's a lot of potential there for investment as well as for families. And I think that the budget is good. They're working hard at making it affordable. So I'm really looking forward to continuing the work I'm doing with Saif, and hoping that there are a lot more projects to work on.
We look forward to work with you
Thank
as well.
you.
Thank you very much for coming today, and thank you very much for introducing the interior design board to our audience.
Thank you.
And I hope this episode inspire a lot of people out there that they are looking for an interior designer. Reach us on 0728 000 002 or come and pay us a visit here, Oshur Saka Center, Wood Avenue, Kilimani. And remember, you are safe with Saif.